Oh man, there's nothing to play right now. I mean, Halo doesn't come out till December. Battlefield's a dumpster fire. Call of Duty has like one new feature, and then they call that a new game, and they ask you to pay another 60 bajillion dollars for it. So that's out. Destiny is hibernating until December, and then hibernating even further until February. So what are we supposed to do? There's nothing to play. What am I, as an FPS gamer, to do? Wait, what, was there something going on Twitter? Twitter seems to be a little more active than usual. No way! Alright, enough with the shenanigans. Thank you for hearing me on that intro. My name is Jack, welcome back to a brand new video. Today, we're going to be talking about Halo Infinite's multiplayer in its entirety as of right now. They're calling this a beta, but for all intents and purposes, this is the launch version of Halo's multiplayer, so there's quite a lot to dive into. A few things to note right off the bat. The gameplay you're watching is from my livestream, twitch.tv/lionhearts1337. It's a little bit old now. It's not during this current event that they are running because my graphics card died. Funny story, I woke up from a nap, I went to turn on my computer, my graphics card sparked, smoked, and then died. Yeah, so F's in chat for my 1070, may she rest easy, put through a lot of work these last few years, so I actually can't even play the game right now. Luckily, I had enough background footage, I've played the game enough to this point that I feel confident in doing this review, so we're going to soldier on. But because of these circumstances, make sure you guys leave a like, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how you enjoyed the video. I put a lot of effort into it to make it happen despite being down a graphics card, so let's just get right into it. If I had to summarize Halo Infinite very simply, it would be that it is a classic for the modern era. It very much returns to more of the classic Halo roots. It doesn't get as advanced or as modern as Halo 5 or Reach. It very much goes to some kind of happy middle ground where there's a lot to enjoy if you're more of like a Halo 3 fan, but there's still some of those new modern amenities that we saw in the newer Halo games that are maintained. This game is like the perfect amalgamation of classic and new. For those of you who don't know, Halo is, of course, one of the most iconic arena shooters of all time. It's by far the most iconic console FPS game of all time, and it's also one of the OG esports. Halo's been around for a very long time, and it's been beloved for even longer. So Halo Infinite obviously has had a lot of fanfare leading up to its release, and a lot of expectations. So how does the game feel on a technical level? On PC, the game runs very smoothly, even on systems of varying hardware. I, for one, didn't have the most beastly rigged PC going into this, a 1070 and an AMD Ryzen 1700X processor, and the game ran wonderfully. One thing to note, I don't know if this has been patched yet, but if you're playing on PC and you're playing on Steam, make sure that you uncheck the HD textures pack for multiplayer. Those textures seem to cause lag and even some input delay in some cases. For me specifically, when I first booted up the game, I had a problem with some screen tearing. After disabling the HD textures, that screen tearing basically went away. I can't definitively say that that's a one-to-one problem. There are varying problems that people are reporting, but as a rule, the HD textures don't really make that big of a difference to me. The game still looks incredible. It's better safe than sorry until we see a patch come out. Disable those HD textures, and if you see an improvement, congrats, you got an improvement. Outside of that, the game in general ran very well and very stably. One thing that's a little bit weird to me in the settings side, there's no true full screen option. There's only borderless or windowed. And that's not a problem. Borderless full screen is fine. Having come from Destiny, which is the primary game I play, there is actually a performance difference usually between borderless windowed and full screen windowed. So I would like to see a true full screen option, but it's kind of nitpicky. I can't really fault the game for not having it. It's just a little weird that there isn't the option for it, I would say. As for mouse and keyboard support, obviously, Halo hasn't been on PC for very many of its titles. It's very much a modern thing for Halo to be on PC nowadays. The mouse and keyboard support is phenomenal. The actual input of using your mouse in-game feels great. It feels responsive. I don't notice any input delay or any issues, especially when it comes to dialing in my sensitivity. The game feels very crisp. I can't speak for the controller performance. I don't play controller. I am terrible at controller, so I wouldn't want to speak to it. But talking to friends who do, the controllers feel great. Halo is a console game. I expect controllers to feel good. But if you were worried about the mouse and keyboard support, don't. All of the options are there that you would want to be there, and the game feels great, responsive, and fluid on that input. With the technical stuff out of the way, let's get into the juicy meat at the center and talk about the gameplay. I feel like Halo Infinite is going to surprise a lot of people who have not played the series previously for how different Halo is as an FPS from the other modern titles that we play. It's very different from Battlefield. It's almost on another planet from Call of Duty. And even on PC, it has no similarities to Counter-Strike or any of the other major FPS styles that might come to mind. Really, the only parallels are other arena shooters, and arena shooters as a genre has trended downward in the last 10 years. Pretty much the last successful arena shooter was Quake Champions, and even then calling that a success is shaky. Quake Champions died out pretty fast, and it's often because the arena shooter format is very different and very hard to adjust to if you're not already aware of it and already used to it. Halo Infinite is a game with very floaty movement, not a whole lot of fast-paced movement, and a general slow time to kill that rewards high precision tracking aim. That's very different from other games. If you're a flick shot Andy hyped up on Adderall and your fourth cup of G Fuel just going, like spot to spot to spot like you're playing an Osu track trying to get those one-shot kills, you're going to struggle in Halo because your aim style is directly not rewarded in this game. You have to have methodical, precise tracking aim to hit all of the headshots necessary to get efficient time to kills. This is seen especially in the ranked game mode where everyone has the BR as their starting weapon, and the differences between good tracking with BR and bad tracking with BR is the difference between a 3 burst and a 6 burst kill. The slower time to kill is definitely not going to appeal to everyone, but what I personally really enjoy about it is that it really makes me feel my mistakes. There are a lot of times when I play a game like Call of Duty where if I die, there was no realistic way for me to have come back in that gunfight. You're just dead. Or oftentimes your mistakes are either not punished or not noticed. If you miss a few shots, it's fine because you can still laser down someone very quickly. In Halo, when I miss in my BR fights in ranked, it's a direct detriment to my ability to win the fight because the other guy's not going to let that mistake go by. It really feels like a game that makes me better at finding my mistakes in my aim and makes me better at aiming in general. Not necessarily better at flick shots and fast aim that you would use in a game like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty, but in the sense that the precision and the tracking is so greatly improved after playing Halo, it sometimes feels like an aim trainer in that regard. So the general gameplay feels good, but then how is the balance of the individual weapons and playstyles? There things get a little more tricky. Starting first in quick play, which is of course the casual game mode where you can play, your standard dominations, your team slayers, or even some of the competitive game modes like oddball and capture the flag. Well, you start off with the assault rifle and the magnum. The assault rifle shoots good intentions at your opponents and can occasionally kill, but it's not very accurate, it does very little damage, and it generally doesn't feel good. I don't like using the assault rifle whatsoever, and I feel like I'm not alone in that. Especially because the pistol, the Magnum, is like the Halo Combat Evolved Magnum got crossed with a Glock full auto because you can spam that pistol so fast, and it does so much damage. Listen, if you're new to Halo and you're struggling in quick play, don't use the assault rifle ever, and just use the Magnum. The Magnum will carry you until you learn maps and learn spawns. It is so good. Frankly, if the Magnum was the standard weapon in competitive would be cancer. because the Magnum is insane, bro. It's so ridiculous how good the Magnum is. Is it too good? Does it need to be nerfed? I don't know. There's a weird issue where if you're on PC, it's very easy to spam the Magnum. It's a lot harder to spam the Magnum on controller if you have your fire button mapped to your triggers. I know some people like to play with your fire button on the shoulder buttons. I know that's a thing that some people do, and I don't know how easy it is to spam there. Again, I don't play controllers, so controller players let me know, is Magnum spam a problem on console? Because on PC, Magnum spam, especially as people get more aware of it, is starting to take over the quick play lobbies. Whoa, hey, I'm going to cut myself off there for a second. Hi guys, this is Editor Jack coming at you with a little bit of an addition to this section. A few things I forgot to mention in terms of current game balance. The commando rifle is awful. It is somehow worse than the standard assault rifle, and I hate using it, and it just feels like it does no damage, and it feels like it never hits anything. It's very bad and genuinely unusable in ranked unless someone's already nearly dead. I don't know what to do about it, but it needs a buff. It's really, really bad. Two other guns that are also incredibly awful currently are the plasma carbine and the plasma pistol. The plasma carbine one really hurts my soul a little bit because the classic single shot semi-automatic plasma carbine from Halo 3 is one of my favorite weapons of all time. And this weird burst fire semi-tracking projectile version in Halo Infinite is just bad. God, man, I don't know what to say about it. It's bad. It's not usable, and it feels weird to use. It just, That's like all I can say. It was just, Same thing with the plasma pistol. The plasma pistol really has no reason to exist when the shock pistol exists. The shock pistol is better in every way. Yeah, these weapons just kind of need some help, man. They're really not that good. And they were so forgettable that I forgot to mention them in the review, so that should tell you kind of how bad they are. Anyway, back to the commentary. Another issue that this game is going to face over time. Halo has to make a decision about grenades. Grenades, I would say, are probably the most contentious balancing issue right now, because legacy Halo players have had this grenade system in place for like 15 years. We've always had 2 frags on spawn. You've been able to pick up another 2 and carry 4 total grenades at any point. That's how Halo has been since the dawn of time. And I get that, and I respect that that's the legacy of the system, but dude, especially in ranked, it gets so annoying to just get into a corner somewhere on like Oddball, and instead of the enemy coordinating a push to take over the territory and win the duels, you hear some dude walk up, knock a bowl of oranges off the table, 17 grenades come raining from the goddamn sky, and then blow everybody up. There's like nothing you can do in that situation. Grenade spam isn't fun, and I can't justify grenade spam in any way. It's not good. It's not good to play against. It doesn't feel good to do. It doesn't feel good when you're in a duel and like you get the first shot on somebody, they spin, drop a grenade at your feet, break your shields, and then win the duel. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't think making the grenades weaker will do anything because I feel like it's a volume problem. There's too many grenades. One thing I could see them doing that would still leave grenades as powerful, but maybe not as immediately spammable, is to reduce your starting grenades to 1, and then add maybe an extra grenade spawn on the maps, so that you could get 2 or 4 grenades like you can now. Maybe that's a better solution. But I don't know, man. In quick play, the grenades, I just kind of overlooked them because it's quick play, it's casual, most people are just running for pickups and trying to do dumb shit. That's how quick play is always going to be. But in ranked, the grenade sweating gets very obnoxious, especially on some of these very corridor-heavy maps. Some of it is map design, I won't deny that. But grenades are too strong, and I don't know what Halo has to do about the grenades to bring them in line, or if they want to do anything about it at all, because again, unfortunately, it is a little bit baked into the identity of Halo. Those are really my big concerns balance-wise. Other than that, buff the Marine shotgun, the human shotgun. It's terrible. It's awful. It's the worst pickup on any map that it's on. And it's just bad. It's way bad. The heat wave is so much better than that shotgun in every single way. And it's kind of disappointing because back in the good old glory days of Halo, the Marine shotgun was to be feared. And this one shoots puppies. Like, it just shoots like happiness. It doesn't actually do damage. I'm pretty sure it actually heals the enemy team. Okay, I've been avoiding this topic pretty much this entire review, but I would be remiss to not touch on it at some point. Controllers versus mouse and keyboard. The debate that never dies. Man, where to start? This is such a cesspool on Twitter with, like, the mouse and keyboard crowd crying about how whenever they play controllers, they can feel the aim assist hitting them in real life, tracking their actual movements of their real body through the screen. That's how strong the aim assist is. And then on the other side, you have the controller players complaining about how the mouse and keyboard players are so precise that they're actually writing their name in elegant calligraphy on the wall with their spray patterns. That's how delicate their mouse movements are. So you already have this being pretty much a toxic discussion that is never productive from either side. So what is there to be said about it? Well, to be put simply, and maybe this is me being a little too dry, if you hate playing controllers that much and you play mouse and keyboard, just play the solo duo mouse and keyboard only playlist for ranked. It's there, it's an input queue, you're purposely taking the longer queue time, just deal with it. At the same time, it does feel weird that if you don't want to play controllers but you want to play in a group, there is not an option for that. I wouldn't be mad about them adding that option for 4-mans to be able to play on an input queue. I understand the devs not wanting to do that though, because the more you split player base into individual queues, the longer the queue times get. And then at the same time, I do feel a little sympathetic for mouse and keyboard players. Whenever I play in the open lobbies, and I do quite frequently because I like to play in groups, I can usually tell when I'm playing a controller player or a mouse and keyboard player. I can notice that difference. And I've complained about it too. I'm not guiltless here. You know, losing a BR duel because you know that, like, their tracking is being helped that much, that can feel bad. But at the same time, I know that I, as an individual player, am not perfect. I know my tracking is not very good. So I know that I can improve and get closer to these people that are beating me in ranked. So I don't blame them for playing the input they prefer. I blame myself for not being good enough to fight on their level. And then this debate gets even worse when you consider that there's bullet magnetism on mouse and keyboard just like there is in Destiny. It's not like it's true raw input. We're not talking about like Counter-Strike, where if you are pixels off the hitbox, you do not get a hit. If you are in the ballpark of a dome, you get a headshot in Halo. It doesn't matter what input you're using, you're getting some aim assistance. It's just controllers get the benefit of reticle friction. There's also some conflicting reports where console players are saying they don't have aim assist, but controller players on PC are saying they do. I can't corroborate that. I don't know. That sounds bullshit to me, but maybe that's true. I'm not sure. It's just, yeah. The whole debate sucks. Crossplay is objectively good because of how it maintains steady queues. I think at the end of the day, we all need to stop bitching and realize that we are all trash. Listen, unless you are like top 100 ranked in the world, you're playing in tournaments, you're playing for fucking money, you are not that good. I'm sorry, bro. You placed Plat 6, you climbed to Diamond, you got to Onyx, congrats. You're still not that good. Like, just calm down, bro. Like, you're not that good. You know what I'm saying? You probably messed up that fight and then blamed the controller. That's just a fact. I don't know, man. Could 343 like nerf the aim assist? Sure. Would that make this debate any less stupid? No. Do I feel like an idiot for having to touch on it in a review? Yes. But it's something people were talking about. It's like skill-based matchmaking, bro. There's no winning. Like, if you have your opinion on this, if you're like, ugh, the controllers, they just Johnny no thumbs, all they do is they rely on the aim assist, they should go back to playing Fortnite, then, like, I'm not going to be able to help you, bro. You've already made your decision, and you're going to stand on that hill until you die. And, like, I respect that in a way. Like, do you, bro? But, like, can we all just, like, stop pretending we're so good that the game is beating us and not our own mistakes, man? Can we just, like, can we not? And, okay, while we're here, I might as well get to the other big issue with Halo Infinite right now. And that's the battle pass and the cosmetics and this event that's going on right now that I can't play because, again, my graphics card died. It feels good. I'm totally not bored. I'm totally not losing my mind. It's fine. Anyway, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna be straight up 100% honest. The cosmetics and the battle pass in this game suck. Like, usually I will try and, like, find the good in things. Like, generally, glass half full. I'm a glass half full kind of person. The cosmetics in this game are ass. The battle pass is ass. This event is ass. The progression is ass. I don't know who at 343 Bungie Soft signed off on this system. The battle pass is miserable to grind. The rewards aren't very good. You're charging an arm and a goddamn leg in the store for cosmetics. And then this event, oh man, I'm just gonna link to a Paul Tassi article. Shout out to Paul Tassi. I love you, Paul. Please have my children. That's not making it in the video. Paul, I love you. I'm just gonna link to his article, man, because this event is so... Oh, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? The game is so good and so polished, but this cosmetic system is like the roughest piece of dirt I have ever seen. I don't even know what they do. I think they literally have to redesign the battle pass. I think they have to rethink everything about this. I personally would say it's not worth buying. I would say the event's not worth buying. If you feel like spending money, that's your financial decision to do so. I would see much more value in buying the campaign over buying the battle pass. But that's just me. Okay, so we've gone off the rails a little bit here in this review, especially in terms of my mental stability, but now that we're here and we're at the end, Halo Infinite is a game with a lot of staying potential. I think it brings arena shooters into their most refined position they've been in close to a decade. Halo Infinite Ranked and Halo Infinite as an esport has serious potential to make a big impact in this market. I could see arena shooters actually making a bounce back off the back of this game. That is how well polished and how good the game feels to play. Some balancing issues need to be addressed. The grenade spam needs to be addressed. Mainly, I think the grenade spam is actually just the biggest issue. We can get into more nitpicky stuff about the input battles or whatever, and then the cosmetic system just needs to be burned in a fire. But the base gameplay of Halo is so shockingly polished in an era of games where, for the most part, we have to wait a year for most games to actually get to what feels like a solid release date. Look at Battlefield. Battlefield 2042 will not be good for another year. Call of Duty will not be good for like 6 months. Games these days release half-baked, half-finished, and require so much work after the fact to get to something that resembles a usable state. Halo Infinite right out of the gate, right now in this beta, is more put together than any game that's been released in the last 5 years, and I will stand by that. The quality of this game is unreal, and we don't even have the Forge. We don't even have the modding tools. Halo Infinite may have nearly infinite replay potential in its multiplayer as soon as the mod tools get into the hands of its player base. This game is worth your time. It is worth your time even if you've never played Halo a day in your life. Keep an open mind, try something different, and play Halo Infinite. It is worth your time. Thank you guys for watching. We were a little all over the place there for a little bit, but I think we brought it back in the end. Halo Infinite's amazing. I can't wait to play it as soon as my new graphics card gets here. If you guys would like to support me, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you leave a comment. I really appreciate it. Also, check out my Twitter. It's mostly sports, it's mostly bad memes, but still you could follow me there and learn about updates about when I go live for streaming or when I'm working on new projects. As soon as I'm able to, I'll be streaming again, and I'll be streaming a lot of Halo over at twitch.tv/lionhearts133.7. Other than that, your views are more than enough for me. If you liked the video, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, have fun with that. If you don't, go get a pizza. Treat yourself. You probably haven't had dinner. You probably haven't had takeout in a while. I know you. You don't really treat yourself that often. Go get a nice pizza. Don't go to Domino's. Go to like an actual pizza parlor and get yourself like a good pizza and enjoy yourself. All right. Peace.